Hello, world. So the FOMC rates came out today, and we have a Fed pivot. So the decision today, September 17th, is that the Fed is dropping interest rates by 25 basis points. So what does this mean? I don't know what this means, but I want to play out a few scenarios based on historical patterns. So last time I talked about the FOMC rate cut during the great financial crisis of 2008. When the Fed pivoted, the rates were dropped by 50 basis points. And that was in September 18th of 2007 at the time. And the market topped out 23 days after, which was October 11th. Today is September 17th, 2025, but the Fed dropped rates by only 25 basis points. Now, let's play out a few things, that I feel like may happen. I don't know which one's going to win, but let's just have some fun. So we have today's date being 9/17. Okay. Let's call this scenario 1. Okay. So we have scenario 1, which is the Fed pivoted today. Let me fix this date format here. So the Fed pivoted today by 25 basis points. If we say, based on historical patterns, the market will top out 23 days after because the 25 basis points will have no impact. Let's see what date we get here. So we add 23 days to this. We get a 10/10 date, okay? Let's put 23 days. And then we have scenario 2, okay? Let's say because this was a 25 basis point reduction and not a 50 basis point reduction, perhaps because the Fed was not as aggressive, we will get a slower time to get to the top. So the inverse, because the Fed is not as aggressive on the pivot, so maybe it's going to take a little bit longer for the market to top out. So let's double our time, 46 days. So we're going to take our pivot date. Let's add 46 days. And we have an 11/2 date. So those are 2 scenarios. Then we have scenario 3. Okay. Scenario 3 is using our cycle count here, right? Based on 530 days average, days from halving. Okay. So if we take that average, we were saying the market will top out 10/8. What's crazy to me is how close these 2 dates are right here. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Now let's play another game. In previous cycles, this plus this, in cycle 2, Bitcoin topped out in 1068 days. Okay. In cycle 3, Bitcoin topped out in 1061 days. Okay. Let's take the higher number of these 2. So let's use 1068. Okay. So if we do 1068 minus the first half of cycle 4 before the halving. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I didn't know that was going to come out to the same number. That's pretty crazy. Okay. That is wild. I'm kind of surprised by that. But anyway, so if this is 534 days, we're saying the second half will take 534 days just based on previous historical patterns of how long this took. Okay. So if we add 534 days equals the halving date plus 534, we get 1012. So scenario 4. $534 days from halving. Okay. And then just for fun, let's have another scenario 5. We count from when the Fed does a 50 basis point drop. Okay. So these are the 5 options I'm kind of thinking of. I'm not sure which one's going to play out yet. We'll have to find out. That being said, we have to be careful here because I'm looking at my Mara chart and we're approaching the daily cycle low. I'll do more deep dive on Mara this weekend, but we're approaching that daily cycle low. So we might have a market dropping next week. So we got to keep an eye out for this. The market might have a slight pullback next week into the daily cycle low. So that'll be for next time, but this is all I have today. Thanks.